Today, ladies and gentlemen, as my car sits at the dealership costing me thousands of stupid dollars, I want to talk, is it even possible to make passive income off your vehicle if you do drive? So let's jump right into this. Welcome back, my passive income investors alike. If you are on this channel, chances are you're as belligerent about vehicles as I am.
Is that cars go down in value very, very rapidly. Like really, like in half in no time, right? They lose about 60 to 70% of their value in the first 4 years you own them. And so you turn $50,000 into $10,000 so fast it makes your head swim, right? And so you don't want to take that kind of losses if you can't afford to take that kind of losses. Now, if you make $15 million a year and you lose 50 grand on a car, it's not a problem. But if you make 50 grand a year and you lose 25,000 on a car, that's a problem.
Because we all know vehicles have something, what usually happens to everybody you know that buys a new vehicle is what is called negative equity. That's when somebody doesn't realize that their car they're buying actually loses more money than it's even worth. And they owe the dealership more than the car is worth, and they can't even sell it or trade it in, and they'll be broke. It's the sad reality of new vehicles. We all know the second you drive it off the lot, they're just banking that money off you, babies.
And so it holds back your wealth building when you've got items that you own that go the other direction. That's where the principle comes from, of don't own too much stuff that's going down in value and then wonder why you're broke.
I only ever buy new used vehicles, either directly, privately. I have never actually bought a car from a dealership. I've had a lot of luck with my vehicles. Many of you might know already that I'm driving a 2009 Dodge Charger, but I've come to the conclusion I'm not using it for what I usually use it for, and I am driving way too much for a 6-cylinder gas guzzling machine. So instead, guys, today I want to talk about ways I know people are making what I would kind of define as passive income depending on your preferences. Now, I'm sure we've all heard of those websites like Tero. Tero is just a company where you can rent your car out, but I do not recommend this for everybody. We are not at the state where Tesla is going to be letting us basically send our cars out as little money-making machines yet. We're not there yet. That's pretty speculative, actually. But the fact is that you can actually still rent your car out on Tero, but it's kind of subjective because some people have issues with it, and you are renting your car to complete strangers. They have ride-sharing programs now where people actually share a vehicle, and it'll be just spread out depending. Unfortunately, for my schedule, I need the reliability of a car when I need it. So instead, what I have to do is own it. But instead of owning this Charger that's costing me as much as a brand new BMW cost owned, I'm going to find something that's a little bit smaller, maybe a hatchback 4-cylinder at, of all places, the police auction, guys. You can pick up incredibly cheap vehicles at the police auction. My friend just picked one up there for $3,000. It was a 2014. It's like a Chevy Volt hatchback thing. She picked it up for like $3 grand and only has 30,000 kilometers on it. But one of the drugs was ripped open, or what did I just say there? One of the seats was ripped open for drugs, so she had to replace it, but she bought a used one for $50, and she says she couldn't believe she got this car. But she says because people usually don't pay the impound fees when they go to jail for whatever it is, drugs or whatever they get pulled over for, she says usually these are really nice vehicles, so you can pick them up quite cheap. Just a tip. But let's talk about actual ways to make passive income without having to, say, give your car away to somebody, and maybe you need to own it and you need to drive no matter what. So how can you make some extra income if you're going to have to drive no matter what? My friend gave me a really wonderful suggestion. If he's watching this, it's going to be kind of funny, really, but he is an Uber driver, but he installed, I don't want to reveal too much, because you can buy systems now that you can install into regular cars that do most of the self-driving, like forward-facing driveway on highways. It does all the braking and steering and stuff like that. And it's kind of incredible that there's these third-party systems most people don't even know exist, and I'm not going to get too into that aspect of it. That's a video in and of itself. He bought a fairly cheap vehicle that he installed one of these self-driving systems into, and he Ubers while he listens to podcasts and pretty much lets the car do most of the driving. But what he said the best thing about Uber is if you're going somewhere, and I've heard a lot of YouTubers that own Teslas that do this as well, if you're going somewhere no matter what, he's like, you might as well just turn the Uber app on, because he says you're going to find people along the way that you can just pick up and drop off. He says, sure, it might take me an extra hour to get home, but in that hour, you're usually going to make like an extra, maybe 20 to 50 bucks, right? You're never really sure. But he says you always make something on the way back if you're not in a rush. I thought that was a pretty brilliant idea. So there's a really intelligent way of doing Uber. What I consider passive income, well, it seems like a good source of income if you have to drive anyways. So just a little word to the wise. Other than that, we're not anywhere near close to being full passive income, I think, yet on the self-driving vehicle side until that actually comes into fruition. Then all of a sudden the vehicles you own are going to be money-making machines. Maybe. That's still speculative. We do not know that, guys. All I know is my car is currently sitting at the dealership. It's going to cost me me about $1,000 to get all the tie rods, ball joints. I live out in the middle of nowhere on a farm where the roads are usually pretty brutal most of the year, and I drive way too much. I've been down in the city 4 days a week lately, and it's just been annihilating my car, but it has been a good vehicle. I used to need the space and the towing capacity, and I also need to be able to park downtown. So for what it was then, it used to be feasible, but what I'm doing today, it doesn't seem to add up, because like I said, I own this car. I own it. And last year, the payments on this thing costed me about $500 to $600 a month. That's insurance, gas, and repairs, and everything pretty much included in the total expense. I can buy a brand new BMW with the payments that would only cost $400 a month. And I don't even like those kind of cars, and I don't like how crazy expensive that is. It kills me inside. So I need to find a cheaper way of traveling, and that might even include moving or trying to do some stuff, actually just staying in the city, because I feel like I would save on repairs and stuff if I just got an Airbnb for 40 or 50 bucks a night, whatever, just a small little apartment thing for a night or two and stay there for a week, maybe even at most. I don't know. I'm contemplating some ideas right now, but essentially, guys, I want to know in the comment section below, do you drive? I know some of you drive some pretty nice cars. I've given up I'm a minimalist, guys. I don't care about things. I care about time. So the vehicle I'm driving isn't an ego thing for me. I have taken Lambos and Ferraris out on the racetrack. I've done a lot of fun things with cars, and it's cheap. You can take a car on a racetrack for anywhere from $300 to $500. Imagine being able to drop like a GTR on the track. It's way more affordable, cheaper, and safer. Can't kill anybody, can't really destroy the cars, and there's pros with you, and it's like adult go-karts. It's fun, guys. Why do you gotta go buy a brand new car? It's so ridiculous. The people that I know that are worth millions don't even buy, some of them buy really nice cars. They're into cars. If you're into cars, buy a nice car. I mean, why not? But only if you can afford it, guys. They say your car shouldn't cost any more. Well, in my opinion, it shouldn't cost any more than a quarter of your take-home pay. To some people, that might kill them inside, because in my eyes, that if you're only making $20,000 a year, why are you buying a car that costs $20,000? It's insane. If you only make $20,000 a year, there's nothing wrong with buying a $5,000 car. It just seems sensible. If you make $60,000, well, then maybe you can look into getting like a $10,000 or $20,000 car, or maybe you're crazy and you just want to go out and buy a brand new BMW. That's your choice. I just look at the millions of dollars you're pissing away instead of investing it and getting like an 18 or 20% return, doing something like an Airbnb or anything else, guys. It's like stocks, individual stocks. Like, explain it to you guys. You guys know about compound interest. What am I going on about this for? You guys get it? Take $500 a month. I'm going to put in this compound calculator. Boom! Look at that. There's how much money I'd be worth in the next 30 years by the time I retire. Because I'm only 27, guys. Everything is the way I look at value at my age. Everything, including this pen, is worth 5 times more what it is if I'm paying for it. You got to look at that $1 becoming $5 to $10 over the next 30 years. Again, that sounds kind of weird and audacious, but I do plan on actually using some of that income, which is why I look for cash flowing things and dividends, which is a good reminder to let you guys know I am going to make another video tonight, especially for y'all, about my portfolio, as it is in some volatile insanity with the Tariff Man himself. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. Stay cool. Stay awesome. I look forward to chatting you real soon.